You may not even find an example of Netflix's business. When Netflix started its business, its competitor Blockbuster had 60,000 employees and more than 9,000 stores in the world. When it comes to sales, they made $600 million a year without doing anything. On the other hand, Netflix didn't even have enough money to buy a new sofa in its office. In this situation, Netflix should have sold its company to Blockbuster. But from then on, the Blockbuster CEO started laughing. History is witness to the fact that the Blockbuster, which used to stand like a mountain in front of them, was forced to kneel down. Just a few years later, Netflix erased the name and mark of Blockbuster. And today, it is a company worth $28,000 billion. But how did all this become possible? Welcome back to Malik TV's videos. Viewers, this was in 1997, when the internet business was booming. Jeff Bezos used to sell books on the internet through Amazon, and he was getting a lot of success. Mark Randolph also wanted to start an internet business. But the problem was which business to start. For many months, wherever Mark went, he always had a notebook with him in which he would write new business ideas and then share those ideas with his friend Reed Hastings. Mark had countless ideas from pet food to baseball bats on the internet. But Reed Hastings didn't like any of them. Reed wanted to start a business on the internet for which the customer had to look for them once, and then the same customer earned them again and again. This process of sharing ideas went on for many months, but then finally both of them understood an idea. Videotapes, which was the only means of entertainment in that era. People would go to their nearest Blockbuster store on weekends, and after selecting their favorite movie for hours, they would take it for rent. And if the videotape was not returned on time, it would be fined. When he got this idea, Reed Hastings was fined $40, which he had to give to Blockbuster for returning videotapes late. Reed believed that this industry needed a lot of change and the idea of renting movies on the internet would definitely work. But the problem was that each video cassette was very heavy and it was very costly to post it. And the loss of the tapes that would break during the postage was different. This was a very big problem. So now Mark and Reed could see their new internet business failing even before it started. A few weeks later, through a tech magazine, they first learned about DVD technology. It was much lighter and cheaper than video cassettes, and it was also much cheaper to post them. Reed Hastings thought that instead of videotapes, if movies were put on DVDs and given for rent, it would be more profitable. And this is where Netflix's idea began. Their business model was very simple. They would display a very large collection of DVDs on the website, and whenever an order came, the DVDs would reach the customer's door in 2 days. A prepaid return envelope would also be placed in the same envelope, which would make it easier for the customer to post the DVDs again. The idea was simple, but to start it, money was needed. And Mark and Reed did not have this investment. Somehow, they set up a small low-budget office with cheap folding tables and secondhand furniture. Employees were kept on a low salary with the promise that if the business worked, they would be given a share in the business. This small team of Netflix created a website in the first few months and started buying DVDs. After months of hard work, they were finally ready to launch Netflix for the first time. Before the launch, they lined up interviews with news outlets so that they would get a lot of media coverage as soon as it launched. On August 29, 1997, they published the website at exactly 9 in the morning. They also installed a bell that would ring on every new order. Mark placed the first order himself, and the bell started ringing for the first time. After a minute, the bell rang again, and this time it was a real customer. The Netflix team unknowingly posted comments on various internet forums in which they introduced Netflix's DVD by mail service, which attracted more movie fans to Netflix. The bell kept ringing for the first 15 minutes, but then Netflix's website crashed. At that time, servers were kept in the office rather than near the professional hosting service. This was a sign that Netflix's server was not able to handle much traffic, meaning they had to install more servers. At the same time, 8 new servers were installed from the local store and the website was relived once again. On the first day, Netflix received 137 orders, which exceeded their expectations. And since the website had been shut down for several hours due to heavy load, meaning there were going to be more orders than this, they needed to solve their website's problems so that it wouldn't crash again and again. The first month of Netflix went well, but for Mark and Reed didn't go as planned. Because their first month's sale was $94,000, but the DVD rent sale was only $1,000. Most people were not taking the DVD on rent, but wanted to buy the DVD directly. They had given both options to the customers, that they either buy a $25 DVD or take it on rent for $4. Mark and Reed wanted more people to use their rental service because one DVD would go on rent again and again, and until it wouldn't be damaged, their profit would continue to grow. They had a good idea that they were able to sell DVDs only for this reason, because there was no other competitor in the market. A few weeks later, they got a call from Amazon's Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, who had already set his foot in the online book market, wanted to capture the DVD market as well. Jeff Bezos wanted to buy Netflix so that he could get a running business of selling DVDs. On the other hand, Mark and Reed also wanted to give DVDs on rent instead of selling them. So they shared the DVD selling part of Netflix with Amazon, and in return, if anyone wanted DVDs on rent on Amazon, then they would be sent to Netflix. On the one hand, this had a far-reaching benefit, while on the other hand, it was a near loss because the portion of Netflix that he was earning, he gave it to Amazon. But even if he hadn't given it to Amazon, Amazon would have set up its own new business, which would then come in direct competition with Netflix. Now Mark and Reed put all their focus on renting DVDs. They started promotional campaigns, but they failed miserably. Netflix contacted famous companies like Toshiba and Sony and cracked a deal with them. The deal was that whoever would buy their DVD players would be given a Netflix coupon code with which they would be able to rent 10 free DVDs. But this promotion failed because the DVD players were given the coupon code not inside the box but outside the box. So even if no DVD player bought the DVDs, they could see the Netflix coupon code from outside. Because of this, in the beginning Netflix had to give a lot of DVDs for free, and on top of that, only 5% of these new customers became regular customers of Netflix. So this was a very bad deal. On top of that, the deal with Amazon was that they were sending customers to Amazon to sell DVDs, but very few customers from Amazon were coming to Netflix to rent DVDs. After this, there was an incident in American politics which Netflix could have completely cashed out. But here too, something happened which Netflix had no idea about. At that time, American President Bill Clinton fell in love affair with an intern from the White House, Monica, and the secret of this story was revealed. There were hearings going on in the court where Bill Clinton's affair was proven, and Bill Clinton was removed from the presidency. At that time, the whole of America was looking for a video of this court trial. Netflix wanted to take advantage of the opportunity and put the trial video on their website through DVDs. The arrow had hit the target, and Netflix received countless orders. But the problem was that the company that was writing this video on DVD was the same company that worked on adult movies. And by mistake, instead of the trial video, they wrote the adult movie on DVD and sent it to Netflix. And Netflix, who was rich in gold, dispatched all these DVDs to their customers without checking. When this matter was revealed, Netflix apologized to all the customers, but by then it was already a loss. It was more of a loss than the benefit of the promotion. Netflix's idea of renting DVDs was not earning, and every one of their promotional campaigns was failing badly. At that moment, an idea came to Mark's mind, an idea that was probably going to change everything. So far, Netflix was doing exactly the same thing as Blockbuster, renting DVDs. The difference was only in the internet, because Blockbuster was doing the same thing through physical stores and Netflix through the internet. Mark got the idea that why don't we start a subscription system in which customers will have to pay a fixed monthly fee, and in return they will be given 4 DVDs. This will ensure that the 4 DVDs will always be with the customers, and they will be able to take their favorite DVD and return the old one whenever they want. Obviously, this will reduce the pressure of late fees on customers. Fortunately, this idea worked. On the very first day, 90% of the people who saw this promotion subscribed. These were the customers for whom Mark and Reed had worked so hard. Due to subscription, Netflix's earnings increased rapidly, and one customer started giving them money every month. On the other hand, Blockbuster, their biggest competitor, was running more than 9,000 physical stores, and they used to get $800 million in annual late fees. While at that time, Netflix's total sales were only $5 million. This is a very big difference. It is said that if anyone was behind Netflix's success, then it was there.